Okay, yogis, welcome. Settle down on your mats, please. It's yin time, so most of you, it's like, let's chill out. This guy is not going to do anything hectic. It's not going to be a cardio. But as most of you who've practiced with me know, yin can be as difficult, if not more difficult than a regular yang practice, where we're active, we're flowing, we're moving. And the challenge really is twofold. One is the body, and the second is the mind, because your mind is constantly trying to get you out of that pose, or try and wriggle, try and move. And then the body becomes a reflection of the mind, because the mind wants to kind of race, the body kind of holds you back. And then you've got this crazy interaction going. Should I move? Should I not move? And it becomes really interesting when you can watch this dynamic. So you literally become a split personality. So there's one part of you going through this, please move, please get out of this pose. And there's another part watching and saying, who's telling who to move? So enjoy the dynamic and see if it helps you kind of calm down. See if towards the end of the practice, you can really sense the thoughts per second slowing down. So with that, just sit up tall, set up your intentions for practice. Of course, the common intention is yin, but you might also want to have a personal intention of either forgetting, maintaining, or learning something new. Slowly get into your breath. Maybe gently close your eyes. When you're ready, blink your eyes open and see if you can sit on your heels by tucking your toes in. So I'm going to do it sideways. So I'm tucking my toes in and sitting on my heels. My knees continue to be down. So this one I will do sideways, but you can keep facing the screen. The idea with this is to basically give a stretch to the arch in your feet. Because as we grow older, and I can assure you none of you are getting any younger, sad news, your arches tend to drop. So this kind of just accentuates the arches. Sit up tall, circle your arms, inhale, so a little bit of warm up for the spine. Take it all the way up, keep reaching. And slowly release your palms either behind you on your lower back, or if you want, get your fingertips down on the mat, but squeeze your shoulder blades in. Take your heart up, chin up. To a nice little back bend. Keep taking your heart up. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades in. Slowly release. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Round your back. Extend your elbows. Tuck your chin in. See if you can release the pressure from your heels. And release. Right palm outside left knee, left palm behind you, holding on to your right hip point. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, twist. Just as much as you can. No pressure. Slowly release to the other side, left palm outside right knee, right palm holding on to your left hip point or outside your left hip, whatever works. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, twist. And release. Right arm across left thigh. Inhale, take your left arm up and across lateral. Release, left arm across right thigh. Inhale, right arm up and across, lateral. Release and release your feet from underneath of you. If you want, wriggle your toes to get the circulation back. You can tap your toes on the mat and settle down. Now there's something interesting I'd like to do. This is just for the fun of it. It's not really yin, but it's just for the fun of it. We'll do the same thing, but instead of keeping our knees down, we'll get into a balance. So you're going to balance on the balls of your feet and your toes. So you're still maintaining that arch, but now you're going to challenge those feet muscles of yours a little more because you're going to be in a balance. And of course, you'll be taking it in your core as well. Now, if you find this really stressful, you can continue with your knees down like this. And if you think your arches have had it and this is it, you don't want to do anything else, you can just sit in Vajrasana and do the same moves. So it's the same moves that we always do for spinal mobility. But this time I'm going to ask you to get into a balance. So once again, tuck your toes in, get onto your toes and the balls of your feet, sit on your heels and see if you can get your knees off the mat. Now, if you don't want to do all the stretches and you just want to enjoy this balance, go ahead, enjoy this balance. If you want to do the stretches, interlace your fingers, inhale, take it all the way up, keep reaching up. And release, interlace your fingers behind you or keep your palms on your lower back, squeeze your shoulder blades in, take your heart up, chin up. May not be a very deep back bend because you don't have support and it's a balance, so be careful. Anytime you feel you're overbalancing, feel free to get your fingertips down on the mat. Interlace your fingers in front of you, extend your elbows around your back, tuck your chin in, and feel the stretch on your middle back. Slowly release. Right palm outside left knee, left palm outside right hip. Inhale, spine tool. Exhale, twist. And to the other side, left palm outside right knee, right palm outside left hip. Inhale, spine tool. Exhale, twist. Obviously, you can't go as far as you could with your knees down, but that's okay. When you're ready, release, right palm across left thigh, left arm up and across. Go to your max and switch arms. So left arm across right thigh, right arm up and across. And release, same thing, wriggle your toes, tap your feet on the mat. And let it go. Okay. Let's start with asymmetrical poses. So keep your right leg straight in front of you. You need to take, it's going to be a forward fold. You need to take a mat, you want to roll up your mat and keep it underneath you, keep a cushion, keep a block. Feel free. Bend your left knee, get your left foot against your right thigh and see if you can get your left knee down. So really get comfortable and then just hold on. So, I can't even reach my toes right now. So just holding on to your calf or your ankle and just keep folding forward. So I'll start the timer right away. The idea is to let gravity take charge of your heart. So it's just the beginning. You might not have your full flexibility, but the idea is to release gently with your breath. Mindful. In yin, you try not to move. The only movement comes with your breath. So with each inhale, You collect the air with each exhale. You submit to gravity. And you're respectful of the resistance in your body. You're not trying to get your ego ahead of you. You're not trying to reach your head to your knee. If that happens naturally, that's great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As long as you're getting the stretch in your hamstring and your glute, you're good. Literally no pulling, no pushing. Take your time. At some point, no amount of exhalation will get you any lower. That's fine too. Enjoy the stretch there. If you want, even disengage your arms from your feet. But then you'll realize you're holding on to your abs. So it's like either you engage your arms or your abs. Right now, I'd rather you engage your arms. Slowly, 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 slowly. Release. Come on up. And gently switch your feet. So we'll do the rebound after you finish the other side. So this time keep your left leg straight. Your knee can be slightly bent if that's where your flexibility is. So I'm not forcing you to keep your knee straight. But if it's straight, it helps with the stretch on the hamstring and the glute. Make sure you remove the flesh from underneath of you. And whenever you're ready, reach for your calf, your ankle, or your toes. And your Janushirshasana, forward fold, starts now. Same philosophy. Philosophy of stillness, of moving gently with the breath, of surrendering to gravity. Surrender requires active relaxation. So it won't just happen. You have to realize which muscles you're kind of hanging on to. Some people hang on to their quads. And I know a forward fold is helped if you kind of contract your quads, but don't let it go. Become soft, pliable, flexible, willing to change. Not because you have to, but because you want to. You will find resistance on your way down, as you find resistance in life, how do you react when you find resistance in your life? Do you fight or do you surrender? Same principle applies here. We can learn from here and apply it to life. Sometimes there's no point fighting. Sometimes you just have to yield. And as you can see, yielding isn't a sign of weakness. You actually need enormous strength to yield, to allow things to happen, to just be, to just watch. Staying with the breath and slowly coming up and releasing down to a neat little Shavasana, but this time get onto your belly. So don't go onto your back. Just get into either a crocodile or just lie down on your stomach, whatever works. See how you feel in your lower back. See if you can feel your lower back melting into the mat. When you're ready, slowly move into the Sphinx. So keep your elbows shoulder width apart, your shoulders directly on top of your elbows. So you shouldn't be here, neither should you be here. So your shoulders are directly above your elbows. And then the only kind of muscle engagement is to keep your heart moving gently forward. Everything else is relaxed. If you want, spread your fingers and see where you feel this pose the most. For some, it's the shoulders. For some, it's the lower back. For some, it's the abs, which are getting stretched. So people feel it in different places. Once again, see if you can relax everything. And you're just being held up not by muscles, but by the scaffolding of your bones. That's it. Spine is just hanging in there. See if you can ease your breath. Breathe more into the front of the lungs. And slowly release back to your crocodile. See if your lower back feels like it belongs to a different person. Check in with your breath. And sometimes the sensation intensity can be enormous. Just breathe through that intensity. It will decline. And the whole idea of this rebound is to feel that intensity. That's your body telling you your pose has worked. And slowly, 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 slowly push up. And let's try the frog pose. Now, this is one of my most dreaded poses because I don't have the ability to keep my knees wide apart. So you take it to a level that you can. So get down on your palms and walk your knees as far apart as you can. And now you've got a choice. You can leave your heels directly behind your knees, or you can get your toes touching together behind you. So that totally depends on you. And then keeping your hips generally above your knees, drop down to your elbows. And then if you can, drop your forehead down or just remain on your elbows. Then let there be a little arch in your lower back and see if you can or want to walk your knees further out. Once you feel happy, see if you want to walk your elbows forward, release your head down. And that's your froggy. Now, I'm not going to ask you to kind of push your hips back, forward. You want to do that to kind of shift the stretch to a different part, go ahead. But the general idea is keep your knees as wide apart as you can. Keep your hips in line with your knees, forward, back, you decide. And try and get your forehead down. If you can't, stay on your elbows. Enjoy your frog. See if you're taking a little bit of stress in your shoulders. If you can, release that stress too. Try and maintain a nice rhythmic breath. Make sure you get that stretch on your adductors, which is your inner thigh muscles, the muscles responsible for adding your legs back to the median. See if your body and your mind are getting into that dialogue about you move, please move, and no, don't, you got this. See if you're naturally sucking your navel in towards your spine. See if you can let that go. Slowly get out of the pose. So one way is to just fall flat onto your stomach, or the other way is to prop yourself up on your knees and your elbows and slowly get out. But whatever you do, just get your knees together and gently fold forward into a child's pose. So you were in a little bit of a back compression, so now you're rounding your back a bit. So simple child's pose. Keep your arms next to you, so no need to stretch your arms forward. Keep your arms next to you. See if you can reach your forehead down. If you can't, bunch up your palms into a fist. Support your forehead on your fists. So just go to a place where you feel supported, where you feel relaxed, and give in to your child's pose. Breathing in child's pose becomes shallow. Strangely relaxing. See if you can lengthen your inhales, lengthen your exhales. When you're ready, slowly, 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 slowly come up from your child's pose. Just sit in Vajrasana for a few seconds, palms in front of your heart, and just feel the blood kind of going back, leaving your head, going back down. Stay with your breath. Slowly release. And we move to Gomukhasana. But before that, let's get into a little twist. So, right knee in front of you, left foot outside right knee. Of course, you push it down, but again, this is not yang, so I'm not terribly fast. As long as you get a nice little twist, that's all I care about. So, embrace your left knee with your right elbow. Inhale, spine tone, and then exhale, twist to the left. And maybe you don't twist very deep, that's okay. The idea is to just use the breath and see if you can keep twisting a little more. This is not as relaxing as the supine twists, but the idea is it's a yin practice. So you engage the minimal amount of muscles and just hold the pose and watch the thoughts and emotions come and go. To get into a deeper twist, you will have to minimally engage your abs. Try to get the maximum twist with the minimum effort. Slowly release. Come back to center. And for Gomukhasana, you get your left knee directly on top of your right knee. Now, if you cannot manage this and you end up looking like this, that's fine too. Or you just go for the fire dog position, which is your calves are parallel to the front of your body and your knee is over your ankle is over your knee, and you just go forward. So that the idea is to get a little stretch in the glutes. But if you can handle the Gomukhasana, go ahead. And you can start by bunching up your fists and resting your forehead on your fists. And then as you feel more comfortable with the stretch, you can lose one palm and then you can lose the other. And then just settle down with your chin or your forehead on your knee. So enjoy your Gomukhasana. Make sure you're feeling the stretch somewhere in your left glute if your left knee is up. Also general stretch in your lower back, middle back.
Most of it is in your left glute. And if your palms are down, see if you can relax your elbows on the ground too. And want a little bit of shoulder rounding, you can cross your elbows. So you feel a stretch in your upper back. Hopefully by now your left glute is really talking to you. Maybe you're observing that you're talking back to your left glute. Just observe the quality of the dialogue. Are you your left glute? Are you your thoughts? Are you the person watching this whole conversation? Once again, where's your breath? Slowly release and just lie down in Shavasana. Before we move on to the other side, just lie down in Shavasana. Feel the difference between your left side and your right side. Your left side is probably more difficult to move right now than your right side. You might have more sensations on your left side than your right side. That's cool. See if you're tensing up your abs or your glutes to avoid the sensations. See if you can use your breath to release all the kind of contractions. When you're ready, at your next exhale, pull your knees in towards your chest and then extend your right knee. Extend your left knee, but your heels remain 10 inches above the floor. And then as you drop your heels down, get your chest up to seated. And let's move to the other side. So this time, keep your left knee down directly in front of you, left heel outside right glute, right foot outside left knee. Inhale, spine tall, and then left elbow cradles the right knee. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, twist. Very gently, using minimal effort, try and move to a deeper twist. Have you done away with your urge to move? Or are you still struggling? Sometimes sitting still is more effortful than constantly doing something. Gently release. And this time get your right knee on top of your left knee. And of course, if you want to move to fire log position, do that. If you just want to stay somewhere halfway in between, that's fine too. Remember, this is yin. As long as you get that stretch on your right glute, I'm fine. If you need to, bunch up your fists and stay with your forehead resting on your fists. And then maybe over time, as you breathe, release your palms down so you can rest your chin on your right knee into Gomukhasana for 3 minutes. Then see if you can release your elbows down. Then see if you can just feel that stretch without thinking about it. So you're feeling it at a very kind of physical, animal level, if I can use the term. There's really no thought. You're just aware of the stretch. You're accepting it for what it is without getting your thoughts involved into the stretch. See if you can practice that. Awareness without judgment. Awareness without involving the ego. Slowly release and lie down on your back. Get ready for your final sequence. Completely let it go. And this time your right side is going to feel wackier than your left side. Get into like a proper Shavasana. The only difference is you'll be having these sensations going around your right glute. Experience them fully, once again without judgment, without getting involved with, oh, I like this, I love this, I hate this, all of that. Just take it for what it is, sensations. Pull your knees in towards your chest very slowly. And then start taking your knees apart and travel the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Hold on to your big toes. It's like a happy baby without any of the pulling and pushing that I normally make you do. Just feel your knees getting weighty and moving down on either side of your chest. That's it. If you can, keep the soles of your feet facing up towards the ceiling. So just hang in here for a bit. And then bring your knees in together. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. Gently roll over to your right and come up to seated. Now we're going to do laterals. So I would recommend you keep your ankle on the mat, because if you don't, if it's on the floor, the heel starts paining. So get your right leg. So first start by sitting with your hips neutral, facing the front, and then get your right leg out as far as you can. This is the limit of my flexibility. Maybe 45 degrees is just fine. Then take your left foot and put it against your right thigh, making sure your left knee stays down. And then move that knee out as much as you can. Now, of course, we're going to do a lateral stretch, which is you're going to kind of reach your left arm over. Your right palm, you can kind of put it down so that you have a little bit of support, or you can get it across your left thigh and just put it here, or you can reach for your right toes and hang on there. Your left arm, if it's too much, just bend your elbow, rest it on your head, and as long as you're feeling a stretch on the left side of your torso, all is good. You want to reach across for your toes if you have that flexibility and you want to do it, go ahead and do it. So it's totally up to you. If you kind of reach your right arm across your thigh, you get a little bit more leverage. You kind of push the shoulder forward, the shoulder back. Again, it's up to you what kind of stretch you're looking for. No pulling, no pushing. No need to keep your ankle flexed. Let it go. As long as you're getting that stretch on the left side of your torso, that's all that matters. With each breath, see if you can keep dropping your right shoulder down. You'll be breathing more into your left side lung. Feeling the compression on your right side of the torso. Stay aware. Slowly, slowly, slowly release. And then get your left leg out too. So you're once again hips facing center. Keep your feet as far apart as you can. Take a block if you want to sit on. This is absolutely my least accessible pose. Some of you I know can do side splits. Do the side split if you want. And I'm just going to hold on to my big toes and get into a little bit of a forward fold. That's all I can manage. Some of you I know can go down fully into a pancake. Go ahead and do that. You need to keep a little micro bend in your knees. Do that. Do whatever it takes to get into a decent forward fold with your feet as far apart as you can. So earlier we worked the adductors. Now we're doing the same thing in a little different way. So we did it with the frog pose, but that time you shorten the length of your leg by bending your knee. This time it's knees nearly straight. Plus earlier you were doing a little bit of a back bend because you were getting an arch in your lower back. Now you're doing a forward fold. So use your breath to gently descend your heart down as much as you want. Rounded back is cool too because it's yin. Some point you think you can manage the forward fold without your toes. Release your arms. It's okay. Sometimes they say you create your reality with your thoughts. And I know it sounds a little crazy, but you're getting an idea of that with this practice. You know your body is kind of stretching, a little bit of pain. But the reality is you can either kind of just react and say, oh, enough, and get out and move. Or you can just say, I'm going to calmly accept this. And just stick with it. You've created your reality in that sense. Slowly release, come up. Once again, get your feet together so you're squarely facing forward. Then this time, take your left leg out as much as you can. Bend your right knee, get your foot against the thigh, and then see if you can move the knee out. And then when you're ready, get your right arm across. And your left arm can either hold on or go across. And of course, bend your right elbow if you're not going for the full toe reach. And just feel the stretch along the right side of your torso. No need to flex that ankle, let the toes go floppy. Use your breath with each exhale. See if you can get your left shoulder down a little more without really picking up your right hip. So you're kind of really activating the meridians that run through the side of your body. Check in if your thoughts have quietened down. Your thoughts per second has slowed down. Whether you've created the time and the space to just feel each sensation without getting overwhelmed, and at the same time without feeling the need to react to it, just feeling the sensation for what it is. And then if you want, realizing the labels you put on it: pleasant, able to hold, mildly unpleasant, oh God damn it. See if you can separate the judgment from the sensation. Then see if you can realize that the sensation is only temporary, but your judgment would tend to be permanent. Slowly release and gently find your way back into your final Shavasana. So take your time. No need to be quick. No need to rush, nowhere to go, nowhere to reach. Because whatever you need, you already have within you, as you've probably realized. So just take the time you want to lie down on your mat and release whatever sensations you feeling now into the floor. Earth yourself, give it all up. So not only have you ended up accepting your practice, accepting gravity, accepting your breath, accepting the sensations, you're now giving it back. Finished, it's done. Slowly bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. Slowly rock from side to side. Slowly roll over to your left, turn your face down. Blink your eyes open, go up to seated. Wherever is comfortable, take your time again, no rush. Palms in front of your heart, seated wherever is comfortable. Stay with your breath. Interlace your fingers in front of you, reach your arms forward, round your back, final stretch. Namaste yogis, it's always great to practice with you. Hopefully see you on Sunday.